welcome to this Thursday, November 5th edition of Westman Newsline. I'm Jessica Glasgow alongside Megan Anderson and Brett Carruthers. In today's news, a heartfelt memorial was staged here at home for Ashley Neufeld, and a big announcement are being made regarding the H1N1 vaccine. And Megan will be in later with sports. Megan, much to my dismay, the World Series has ended, and the Yankees won.
That's right, Jess. Your Phillies couldn't hold it together at the Yankees' christened new stadium with its first championship. I'll have all the details later on in sports.
Thanks, Megan. And Brett, I'm still scraping frost off my car in the morning. Do you promise we have warm weather coming up?
I promise, Jess. Warm weather is on the way. We're expecting the last gasp of summer this weekend before winter comes to stay, with temperatures going above 10 on a few occasions. But right now in Brandon, we're sitting at 0 degrees. I'll have your weather details later on in the show.
Thanks, Brett. Friends and former teammates of Ashley Neufeld organized an impromptu memorial service yesterday in her hometown of Brandon. Neufeld, who played softball for North Dakota's Dickinson State University, was one of the 3 young women from her college's softball team who died in an accident on the weekend. Although no concrete details have been released, the trio is suspected to have drowned when their Jeep plunged into a deep pond and they were unable to escape from the vehicle. Terry Robertson, one of Neufeld's softball coaches when she played for Westman Invasion as a team, said they have already retired her number 4 jersey as a sign of respect and loss. Jim Ney, one of the organizers of the memorial, said the people of Brandon are sending their hearts out to the Neufeld family. Health officials in Winnipeg are expanding the eligibility criteria for people in high-risk groups who need a swine flu shot. Turnout was low yesterday when a dozen clinics in the provincial capital reopened their doors, prompting the Winnipeg Regional Health Authority to expand their priority group criteria. Health Minister Teresa Oswald says the vaccination rollout must be flexible. There's no word on when H1N1 vaccine will be available for the general public. But when it does become publicly available, it will be safe for all, according to the World Health Organization, which says millions of doses of H1N1 vaccine have been administered so far and no unusual side effects have been seen. Dr. K.G. Fukuda, the agency's top flu expert, says 20 countries have started to administer the pandemic vaccine, which appears to be very safe. He said the rates are localized reactions such as sore arms are similar to and maybe even lower than those experienced with seasonal flu shots. Fukuda said H1N1 viruses still aren't mutating much, although the WHO expects they will start to as immunity in human population rises. He says cases of viruses that are resistant to the antiviral drug Tamiflu remained isolated and sporadic. Fukuda also says H1N1 viruses are the dominant flu viruses everywhere and appear to be starting to crowd out seasonal flu viruses in East Asia. The less fortunate are also being looked after with the looming possibility of a pandemic, as the Salvation Army's Booth Center in Winnipeg now has a 23-bed wing available for the homeless people with flu-like symptoms. The new wing is not intended for people who have complications that indicate H1N1. They will still be sent to the hospitals. The shelter has teamed up with the government and other organizations to run the wing. Spokeswoman Karen Hoft says during flu season, the shelters also see an influx of people, but she expects there will be a higher demand for these beds than they normally would be. And people in Winnipeg who have lost their homes to fire are also getting a new safe haven. A new fire rescue house provides them with a temporary living place. People who stay at the house pay $30 a day, which covers bedding, furniture, and food. Originally, there had been a plan to have a counselor live in the building to help families cope, but organizers say there's no money for that right now. And the long-dormant gun control debate shot back to life after a decade of silence Wednesday, when the House of Commons voted in principle to end the long gun registry. The minority Conservative government was able to pass the bill with the help of 12 New Democrats, 8 Liberals, and 1 Independent. This bill will expunge records on more than 7 million firearms and plow under a $1 billion taxpayer investment. Canadian Ambassador Gary Dewar took concerns over the Buy American policy directly to the White House yesterday with hopes of reaching an agreement with U.S. President Barack Obama. Unfortunately, they only had a brief time to talk about the trade dispute, and all Dewar said publicly afterwards was, "The bottom line is there's no resolution." Dewar was invited to the White House to formally present his diplomatic credentials to Obama 3 weeks after taking up the job as Canada's ambassador to Washington. And with the gloomy prospects of no improvements in international trade, let's take a look at where today's money markets are currently sitting.
For all your local news, weather, and sports coverage, watch Westman Newsline. Broadcasting from Assiniboine Community College on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 1 o'clock.
Many people dream of becoming artists, and one local man's dreams have finally become reality in more ways than one. Timothy Brown's work is currently on display at the Art Gallery of Southwestern Manitoba. His collection is called Sty Fill Full Of.
It's a series of mixed media works, so painting, photography, that is looking at dreams and dream landscapes.
Brown's approach is a mixture of both contemporary and modern art, and different pieces show different perspectives. Some of his creations have a light and near comic feel to them, while other pieces are dark and dismal, perhaps more nightmares than dreams. The exhibit runs at the Art Gallery of Southwestern Manitoba until this Saturday. If you missed your chance to carry the torch for the Winter Olympics, you can still get your hands on one if you have the money. Less than 1 week into the 106-day relay, the Olympic torches for the 2010 Winter Games in Vancouver are already popping up for sale online, with at least 2 able to be found on eBay. The asking price ranged from $500 to $2,500. And still dealing with flames, but not the Olympic kind, the president of the Calgary hockey squad wants to find out the name of the Alberta Health Services employee who was fired for arranging for his team to get swine flu shots. Ken King says the pink-slipped employee paid a huge penalty for allowing Flames players, management, and family members to get the vaccine last Friday. King says he plans to reach out and help the person find work. And some disturbing news now from the United Nations, which said at least 50 peacekeepers have been punished for national authorities over the last 3 years for committing sexual abuses on UN missions. The UN says the punishments range from reduction in military rank to 8 months imprisonment. The data released today comes after repeated requests from media organizations for information on the punishments governments are meting out to peacekeepers accused of rape and other abuses in conflict areas such as Congo. The global body didn't make any identities or nationalities public, and the data showed a significant increase in prosecutions in 2009. But the figures also showed that many UN requests for action have gone unheeded by the governments who contribute peacekeepers to missions. That's all. Stay tuned. Brett's up next with Newsline Weather.